You mean professional? I mean A-listers? Well, of course. Of course. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? I won't name names, but it was about 3 years ago. Maybe I think it was after Pass Through. Anyway, 2 name actors contacted me. Sent me an email on their own, not through their agent or anything. Oh, Neil, we love your stuff, blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is, none of my films are union. They're not SAG-AFTRA. I know obviously any name actor is SAG-AFTRA, and I know the rules are changing now. You can sort of roll a SAG-AFTRA in to work on a true indie film. But it's always been a money issue. I mean, their agents will want more than I could pay, even though they told me. One guy was actually Oscar nominated.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's Anyway, yeah.
Making a film is a lot of work. What are the most satisfying parts of the process? You're pretty much doing most everything.
This. It's all about, and it's funny because I've done 6 films, and when you do the first film, it's like, oh shit, how do people do this? I mean, it is so friggin' hard. Then, when you decide to do the second film, you go, oh, am I gonna go put myself through this again? But by the time the third film comes around, you say to yourself, I got this process down. And you'd be surprised, it's a shitload of work. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. But once you've done 1, 2, 3, and you can stick with the same formula, it's overwhelming. Don't get me wrong, it's overwhelming. And it takes forever. But I know, and this is like any job, when you've done something once or twice, you have some experience. So you have a certain comfort level. Because every day, something goes wrong on the set. So you always have to have a plan A and a plan B, because you're going to need it. If you go in with just plan A, you're screwed. If an actor doesn't show up, or the weather changes, or the camera breaks, there's 100 things that can go wrong every day. But seeing the final product, well, like anything, like any creative process or artistic endeavor, the final product is the best part. I enjoy it all. I enjoy the writing, I enjoy the shooting, I enjoy the editing. The editing is where the magic happens, and so on. Yeah.
When you're in the editing room and you're figuring out the pacing and the flow of the movie, what's your mentality there?
I'm just trying to make it flow, I'll be honest with you, and it's more than obvious. There are parts of this as it stands right now that I'm not comfortable with. But I'm probably going to leave it the way it is. But, yeah. Anyway. Yeah. It's just the feel. In my head, I've got a feeling and a vision for what it's supposed to feel like, momentum-wise, pacing-wise, pausing. That's all you can go by is your gut feeling relative to the storyline and the characters. Yeah.
What was the significance of the white woman and the tiger turning into the white woman? You said you're a spiritual person, and if there are any specific themes that
There's no. Once again, this gets back to when you're writing. Go over the edge. Be unique. Be creative. Use your imagination. Let's take, she's asking what's the significance or the symbolism behind the lady in white transforming into the tiger and vice versa. One way to write that scene is, well, he's walking through the field and this woman comes walking out of the side of the field and they meet in the middle of the field. And it turns out that, oh, she's just an old girlfriend who happens to live in the area. Okay, done story. Okay, the reality is that from a story, interest, action point of view, I wanted the transposition between the tiger and her. So when you write, you need to grab the audience. I use the word hook. If you're not hooking the audience as a point of view of interest in your film in the beginning, you're in trouble, okay? So I use, in all my films, kind of a hook. In other words, here he is walking through the field, the car just crashed, and all of a sudden he looks to the side and there's a white tiger. There's a white tiger. Now the white tiger is charging him. And the audience is saying, what the hell? There's a white tiger charging him? What the hell's going on here? There's a fight. Nobody expected to see a white tiger fighting this guy in the field, right? I mean, but what have you done? You've hooked the audience, okay? And that's just one hook. So they have this fight that may look somewhat realistic, and he says, after he notices the car accident, he says, wait, get down. The audience is going, wait a minute, he's talking to a tiger? And the tiger's obeying him after trying to eat his head off? And then the tiger, and he says, you've got to go. Okay, it's like your dog. Okay, go out in the yard. But then the tiger runs away, and the tiger morphs itself into this beautiful white woman in a flowing white robe. Whoever thought of that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? And who is the woman in white? To my way of thinking, the image that I use, it's an old love interest of his. And we've seen the ghostly images of the transparent people, but it's meant to mean it's an old love interest of his. That's why she blows him the kiss and she says, I'm never going to forget you, blah, blah, blah. But that's the symbolism between the lady in white. Now, she's been around for a long time, who knows how long, because she's ghostly, so she has a connection with the mental asylum as well.
Let's trade mics. Here's making